another album celebrating its 50th anniversary this week, actually yesterday, March 28th, released in 1973. The fifth album by Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. In my estimation, it's either my favorite or second favorite Led Zeppelin album. And what do you guys think about this album? We did a Led Zeppelin countdown way back in the vault before we were on video.
Yeah.
And you can check out that episode if you like search us on Spotify and all that. Your thoughts on Houses of the Holy?
Yeah, I think when we did a Led Zeppelin video, or sorry, episode rather. I think I selected Zeppelin 2 as my favorite Zeppelin record.
Yep.
But it's now looking back, it's Houses of the Holy, man. I love this record. It's the one I've listened to the absolute most. It's got like my favorite Led Zeppelin slow burn jam on it, No Quarter, fantastic song. And one of my favorite faster songs from Led Zeppelin, The Ocean. It's back-to-back on the end of side 2. It's just a fantastic record.
This has been my favorite Led Zeppelin record, I think, as long as me and Mike have been friends. Mike really showed this record to me when we first started hanging out, and we watched Song Remains the Same.
How many times?
The movie,
Yeah.
like one of the first times we hung out together, and this is the album that tour is based off of. And I fell in love with every song in this record. Again, the legendary like stoner song of all time, No Quarter. Like it's the quintessential stoner Zeppelin song, I think. Right? It's spacey, keyboardy, awesome. The vocal effect with like the super cool. And then, like, again, too, this is the Zeppelin album where they took the blues out of the Zeppelin. For the most part, like Jamaica, Dire Maker is the reggae song on here that is really cool, and they like Zeppelin out that shit. The Crudge on here is basically a James Brown rip, like Zeppelin doing James Brown. This is my favorite style of Zeppelin, kind of dipping their toe into other things. Later on, for me, it gets a little bit too out of control, and it's not really like what I like anymore. But this is like the beginning of the end for me. This is my favorite Led Zeppelin album. They do a little bit of everything on here.
Yeah.
Shout out to that crazy guitar in Dancing Days.
Yeah.
A wall of crazy guitars.
Oh, so good.
Some of my favorite songs, I really enjoy Over the Hills and Far Away, which opens the acoustically and then breaks into a rock song. The Crunge with its weird horn-like synth parts played by John Paul Jones. Very like early 70s Stevie Wonder style. No Quarter, with all the warbly underwater type of Leslie things all over it. And it's just like, fighting dragons kind of song. It's an epic, just great album. I think when we did our countdown a year or two ago, we all put the first 5 records as our 5 favorite in some order. And that's true for me today. This is one of my favorites. Classic cover by Hypnosis, the artist group that did like Pink Floyd covers, etc., etc. This is a 5-star album. This is just peak.
I also love the ad-libs in here. Like, has anybody seen The Bridge? Which is referenced in Almost Famous on that dude's T-shirt. And The Ocean, where John Bottom counts really low in the mix. We've done 4 already, but now we're steady, and here she went. 1, 2, 3, and it counts out the song. So some of my favorite like little just ad libs in a record, especially that John Bottom one at the end. I feel like that's quintessential. Great.
Bonzo.
Yeah. So you know.
And a great follow-up, too, because you figure Led Zeppelin 4 is just such a...
classic
that's
album.
Considered like the monster. The monster, and then to be able to do an album or release an album right after that and have it to be this standard is pretty like, wow.
Also,
shit.
we didn't even touch on the proggy opener, Song Remains the Same, which is like...
And
which
then
is,
Into the Rain song.
Yeah, which like
so
Zeppelin does, yes. And then Into the Rain song, which is one of the most, I think the most, in my opinion, the most beautiful song Zeppelin ever did.
Yeah.
I love the Rain song. It's gorgeous. What a great tune that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy birthday, Houses of the Holy.
50 years. Happy
50 years.
50 to both of them.
And if you can see Robert Plant, I believe he's touring right now with Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And they did their Raisin Sand Part 2 album a year, 2, 3 years ago, and they were touring behind that.
Nice.
He sounds very different than he did 50 years ago, but he still sounds really good.
We saw him like I'd say 10 years ago, and
Somewhere around there, yeah.
probably like 12 years ago now.
Sensational Space Shifters.
And it was a good show. It was cool. It was, really
fun.
really cool.
They did do one Led Zeppelin song. I can't remember which
They
one
did Go into
though.
California in its like original incarnation.
Oh yeah, and then they did another one.
They did a weird ass version of Black Dog, which was cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
Check it out.
All right.